What's up everyone and welcome back to another ladder story. Today we have a snow game. He is spawned here in the bottom right. It's a Protoss versus Zerg. His opponent is a barcode who is a account deleter. So what does that mean? That means they play a few games on their account and then they basically delete the account and disappear and remake new accounts. Now this is done by drop hackers, this is done by map hackers, this is just done by people that don't treat the ladder with very much integrity. So this chap would have matched with Snow on a relatively high MMR, played a game or a few games and then kind of just disappeared. So it's an ugly part of the ladder. It does happen very often, but I was curious when I loaded this replay. What would we see from a account deleter? And so far what we can see is a very fast 9 pull followed by gas, so it's going to be some sort of cheesiness for sure. Snow is starting with a forward gateway, so this could be fun, guys. I'm actually looking forward to seeing what happens. We've seen Snow recently doing a double Stargate Reaver build when he's practicing on the ladder. I don't know how seriously he's going to be taking this barcode. He definitely knows that it's not a pro. So perhaps we could see some fun from Snow. And we're definitely going to be seeing some aggression from our Zerg here. So this could certainly be unpredictable, to say the very least. Just want to say, guys, thank you for some of the support. Some of my Korean games were not really getting the views that I was wanting them to be getting. But I had a couple of games from Snow that I've done recently that have done really well. A couple of flash games, and it just inspires me to keep going with those. So thank you to everybody for the support and just the growing support on the channel in general. If you do enjoy today's video, please do drop a like and hit that subscribe button. We're on a mission to get to 1,000 subs before the end of the year, and we are going really strong. And that's going to be it. I don't have time for any more plugs or any other rubbish because the flood of lings that our friend Snow is going to have to deal with, and ling speed, it's all happening here. Good gracious me, what is going on? So we've got Nexus, and we are holding the line. This little mineral kind of really helps in this regard. But I fear for the life of this gateway, and this is where APM, composure, experience, game sense, all these things are very relevant. So our Zerg is still making lings. He's got 8 drones, guys. To say he's all in is probably not too much of a stretch. Just making another pylon so that his gateway is adequately powered. And just making units, shield battery, probes, zealots. This is taken some serious hits, this. More lings. Wow, he's just going absolutely dootly wootly all in here. There goes the gateway, and are we going to get a sneaky little twofer? He's building a hatchery in base here as well, guys. Holy crap. Oh, shenanigans central. What was even happening in this game? He's making a forge. Doesn't have a gateway anymore. That's unfortunate. Does have one ling in the house? Down to 7 drones, guys. 7 drones in a dream. And this hatchery is now done. I'm actually curious to see what he does with it. The extra pylon really helps, because that keeps everything powered up. Cannon is on the way. I just think Snow's wrecked here. I mean, how are you going to deal with all of these lings? His Nexus is going to get destroyed. He's making more lings out of this as well. This is crazy. He's lost his Nexus. It's over. Well, he has another Nexus, right? So I guess it's not entirely over. But he's fighting with lings. Probes versus lings. This is just the most ridiculous sight that you will ever see. Look at this. Just your standard 9 pull gas. I don't know why he got the gas. He hasn't actually used it for anything. Except to get link speed, I guess. Then he stopped mining it. So Snow's on a single base. And he's basically abandoning his main, okay? Oh, what is even happening in this game? It's crazy. It's got cannons, making a gateway. And that's that. So this is his new home. So I think we can see now why this guy makes accounts and then disappears. He's not the most honorable player, is he? So Snow decides to sack what was his original spawning position and just to play the game out of his main, I guess. Leia on the way, making a couple more drones now. So transitioning into something, I'm not sure what. I was hesitant to cast this game initially, but now I'm actually very glad, very glad I did. There goes the end of that drone. So he's making lings from this hatchery. A lair over here. More lings here as well. He's still just going full on. He hasn't expanded. Just playing with one base. One base is all he seems to want to need to have. And Snow kind of just patiently... Very easy to run out of room here as well. Which is kind of crazy. Things here. Things here. Is he going to make a sunken? I think he is. Wants to try and protect this position. I think he's got enough zealots now. Okay, they were getting pretty low. Sends another zealot up here. There's enough cannons. There's nothing he can do from this side. So the sunken is in place now, which is going to delay. And he does lose that zealot. But I think... No. Every time I say he's got enough zealots, he doesn't. Well, he's getting some use out of his shield battery. Has been making a spire. So he's going to go mutas now. This guy's playing on one base. I guess it's Snow. This is Snow, right? So he's playing against Snow. He is a one base Zerg. And he is giving Snow so much grief. Kills that before it becomes a sunken. And Snow is also somehow fitting in a Stargate somewhere, presumably here. Kills that sunken, but doesn't have the zealots to get rid of the last sunken. It's now made a goon. Look how compressed this has all become, man. That is crazy. Now he uses his lings to jump on top of one of the cannons. Another goon coming out here as well. Perhaps the goons are a good tool to get rid of these sunkens. It's difficult to say. Mutas have arrived. And there's only a couple of them. He can't do anything meaningful because he's not making any drones. He's on one base. Dragoons are freaking terrible against mutas, but there's just not enough numbers here. It does have one Corsair. This base does remain for the time being. And moving out these zealots, probably a questionable idea from Snow, if I'm honest. Making a pylon over here. Guys, I don't think you will ever see a weirder game containing Snow. This has got to be one of the weirdest situations ever. He's basically lost his main. And these cannons that he's making here, I think are going to be toast as well. Bit of Corsair micro on display here, and another battery. It's not enough Corsairs yet, I'm afraid. He could actually dive on him here. I don't know why he doesn't go for it. It's only 2 cannons. And a battery, admittedly, but still, I reckon he could get some serious work done. That's for sure. Send a Zealot here. Our Zerg is finally expanding. Not making any drones, though. Drones are overrated. Just make Ling, apparently. Ling Muda. Ling Muda. Muda, Muda, Muda. This natural's getting mined out pretty quick. This is unreal. Absolutely unreal. Like, how do you cast the game in a constant state of shock? Oh, this is sneaky. So we are expanding up here. I don't think that the Zerg is ever going to check here, if I'm honest. I don't know how he got that probe out there, but he did. Well done. Sort of trying to bait him in here. Has expanded. Making 1 drone. Very nice, very nice. 1 drone is good. Not optimal, perhaps, but good. More sunken, so he's very much in love with this area for some reason. Maybe because he doesn't know that, although this Ling's right here, so, I mean, he has to know about this. I didn't see how long this Ling was here for, if it was here the whole time. But it is, and here go the probes. So the cannon will do a pretty good job of protecting this probe. There you go. But I don't know if this is now going to trigger our Zerg to open the floodgates. So Corsair Goon. Eventually he's reckoning he's going to have the critical mass to take this on. And our Zerg, on the other hand, is... I'm sure he's tempted to dive on this eventually. Just using a lot of cannons to fortify this position for the time being. And sending his units across to protect against the Ling Mutas. Got 5 Corsairs, plus 1 on the way. I think drawing the Zerg away from this position is a good thing, because he's only got 3 Sunkens, 4 Sunkens. I think the Goons will take care of those eventually, but he's obviously now repositioned all of his Dragoons for the time being. Oh, this is scary. You better get your cannons protect you. Alrighty, so what are we making? Making Corsairs, making Zealots, getting ground weapon upgrade. And are we now going to transition into like a normal game? I don't know. Running out of money here. We've got plenty over here. So... Hydra Den on the way. I was going to say, Hydras will become a factor. It's like we're getting all the phases here. Corsairs have hit a meaningful number. And I don't know if the Scourge... I was going to say, I don't know if the Scourge died. Do get a few hits here. I think the mutas are enough. Especially with that additional Scourge hit. He's not going to run away with his 2 Corsairs that are left. Citadel on the way. A lot of these mutas are really low, so he figured sending his Dragoons in might be a good idea. So this is becoming his new home. He's abandoned his old home. And... and Zerg has taken this for himself. So this is one of the most strange flip-flop games. Flop, flip, flip, flop. Here we go. Snow loses his main. can he recover? Can Snow recover from losing his main? I think that's probably got to be the title here. Against this dodgy Zerg. So we got speedlings, we got mutas. We're soon going to have hydras as well, getting our hydra upgrades, getting a few more drones. So, kind of normalizing. I don't know what these lings are hoping to achieve here. This is very compressed. I suppose that's good though. So what is he going to send to protect? DTs coming out here. More Corsairs. Lots of cannons. Action on both sides. You know, respect to Snow, right? This guy is a total clown that he's playing against. And he's using his, I would say, somewhat precious time to grind this game out instead of just leaving and, you know, practicing for proper games in inverted commas. I guess it's good because you never know what you're going to get in a tournament. So, grind it out. I think he's found a nice spot here to take down this hatchery. Managed to hold on here. He's got himself up to 41 workers. Probably now building up to a point where he can take another base. Sending a DT here to try and get some damage done. There are no overlords, by the way. So he could have got some damage done there, potentially. So that hatchery's been and gone. And Snow now looking to try and take another base. And once he does that, I fear the pendulum swings very heavily into his favor. But our Zerg will not let him get away without a decent bit of harassment. This DT is going to pick up a fair number of these hydras. There's no, like I said earlier, there's no overlord in sight here. Not anywhere close to this. So he could hold this pretty much with one. It's the second time that's happened to me today where replay's kind of just glitched. Anyway. This Cape Boy is doing some serious work here, guys. One DT is all we need. Let's go. And we have speed on our overlords. Can you believe it? So he's knocked down every single one of these Sunkens. Forgive me, I wasn't splitting my attention properly, except this one. So he should be able to re-establish this base. The Hydras, though, have got into the main. And there are overlords supporting here. There are mutas. And this is suddenly, if you're a Snow fan, very, very scary. Our first storm has entered the game, so this has progressed to some element of normalcy. I reckon he could, I mean, there's only 5 cannons. It's touch and go. It's touch and go. So, sending a DT here, and Dragoons with range. Lurker aspect also coming in, so we are progressing through all of the various techs in this. And that's kind of the end of that. So the containment that he had on his main is now a thing of the past. He should be able to establish his main once more. I really don't recommend running away from home though, Snow. You're going to lose yourself a High Templar there for nothing, which you did. And that's gone. Bye-bye. Thanks for visiting. I'll take my home back now, please. So he should be able to re-establish his main base and keep this one going as well. His next big ambition was to, or it appeared to be, to try and take this. This DT still just standing here, intercepting units as they come through. Sadly for him, he walked into the eye line of an overlord, and that was the end of him. Alright guys, so we are watching a strange game slowly but surely normalize. Snow's attempts to establish this base are going to be thwarted for some pretty bruised mutalisks. What has happened to the last of our Corsairs? I'm afraid they are gone. We don't have... Oh, there they are. Just a couple. And we're up to 36 drones. 3 bases. So our Zerg has gone from a 1-basing nut to a 3-basing... Still a nut, I guess? Ah, okay, we got a few. I think we're actually going to save this. Yep, we do. Very nice. So he saves that base. Sending out his dragoons all around just to kind of gauge how many bases his opponent does and doesn't have. This is a bit of a soft contain with these hydras. So Snow's camping here. Still got some money. Wants to expand here, but can't yet until he's got a critical mass to take on. He's actually behind in supply. And now he's been lurker dropped as well for good measure. And I would like to point out that he does not have a robo. So this is incredibly painful. He's had to storm both of those lurkers to get rid of them. So he's baited out a decent number of storms, lost a couple of probes. And bad news here, if you do a lurker drop here, that Nexus is going to be in a whole heap of problems. It's making 6 lurkers somewhere, guys. Must be here. Yeah, there's a couple there as well. Here we go. Lurky lurk, man. Where is he going to? I said, I dread the idea of a lurker coming here. There is a lurker here. Ah, he's got observers! Where's the robo? Here it is. Ah! Whew! That's a relief. I did not see him make that. And also, how does he fit so many damn buildings here? Well, I guess when he ran out of money, he just used the rest of the space, which was smart. So, my apologies. He does have an observer. Luckily. Luckily. Still gonna have to fend off these lurkers though. As much as you can see them, he's still gonna be able to fight with them. This guy is just a dickhead. He just plays like a dickhead. Like, just straight up. That's his style. Hi, I'm a dickhead. Nice to meet you. Can't believe he's home here. So the fact that he's so split between his two sort of homes is a real problem. I like how he spread his lurkers though. I will give him that. Our dodgy Zerg friend. Uh-oh. This looks like a drop. But the Corsairs have intercepted 2 of the Overlords. And I'm sure he lost a few of the units he was planning to drop here. He's got 2 Dragoons and nothing more. Does have a few High Templars with this. Could storm. Does storm. Oh, loses his observer, which is a bit painful. Chasing the High Templar, who does throw off another storm. And our lurkers have now got a soft contain here. And our lurkers have now got a contain here. This guy. What? A horrible person to play against he is. He has just griefed Snow from beginning to end, to the point where if I wasn't absolutely sure that this was Snow, I would be like, what is going on here? But I have no doubt that it's him. And yeah, I can see why this guy creates and deletes accounts all the time, because he's definitely of a type, isn't he? Alright, well now we're trying to Hydra Bust. This is a scary swelling mass of Hydras that are coming in here. And I don't like Snow's chances of holding this with a couple of High Templars. And that's about it. So it looks like he's gearing up now to swing the club one more time. Along with this Lurker Contain, which by the way he also has here. Like, where do you go if you're Snow? Like, it's crazy. He's stuck. Trying to sort of storm his way out of here. We could send reinforcements from the bottom. I think he wants to do a drop. No way he wants to drop though. Observer also saw what was happening. Guys, this is like the Ric Flair of StarCraft, right? The dirtiest player in the game. That's what this dude is. So Snow trying to grind his way out of here. It's just proving so hard. And the one thing I will say about this guy is he's actually shown a good amount of patience and composure. And he's kept expanding behind this. He hasn't swelled his drone count. I think if I had to level a criticism against him, he's miles ahead. He doesn't have to just keep making units. He could make another 20, 30 drones, take all the bases, and then get to a point where he just cannot be beaten. He is still giving Snow a sniff, shall we say, to be in this game. Snow's still stuck. He's just stuck. That's exactly the word. He's stuck. He cannot expand. This guy's got all the visibility in the world. He's kind of smothering him, choking him out. Throws down a storm. Kind of whiffs a little. Does have the observer here. That's a decent enough storm. Does also knock down a few lurkers as well, which is always great. Supplies have pretty much been even for the last 5 minutes or so. I don't see that changing anytime soon. Here come the Scourge. Presumably just to get rid of the remaining Corsairs. And diving here with Hydras. He could send some more Hydras to reinforce. Kind of storms himself there a little. Probably has the numbers to... difficult to tell. Of the Son of Dying Observer. Which is painful because... There's one over here though as a spare. So we're okay for now. Look at this. Look at these reinforcements, guys. Holy crap. If you're Snow fans, I just don't see a way out of this. It's just been absolutely smothered to death. A couple of good storms though. Yeah, wow. Really good storm. So suddenly a 30s odd supply gap opening up here. And is Snow going to fight his way out of this? This would just be unreal if he could. Spending his money, getting some cannons online. The Zerg's having to send units from the bottom to stop this expansion. But Snow is very, very patiently putting together his forces. He's thrown down a number of really good clutch storms here. Another nice storm here as well. Just corpses galore. Sadly loses that observer. Some more Hydra Lurker coming in. Going up to Hive now as well. So this game is progressing all the way to the top of the tech tree. Trying to run around with some units here. There's only 1, 2... 3 lurkers left. We did hear the observer die. So I think he's trying to break this contain as well. That should give him the option to expand right here, which would be a beautiful thing. So that is what Snow is trying to do. So trying to basically, his win condition is successfully establishing this space and this space. And then breaking onto the map with freedom to move. And while the supply gaps are what they are right now, this would be his window to do so. And I have felt a sense of determination from Snow that he did not want to lose to this guy. It would have been tempting to leave this game several times along the way, but just there was a tenacity in him that I've seen, which is very admirable. That being said, this game is still very much ongoing. So let's see how we fend off this incoming attack. Decent storm, not a bad dodge either. The lurkers though get knocked down pretty fast. And Snow is now starting to push away what's here. And this is established and up and running, which is huge. And if this can get up and running as well, potentially a real game changer. Decent storm. Is he going to try and expand again? Holy crap. I think he is, you know. I wonder if we would have a sense of how... See, this is why earlier I said if this Zerg had have just had 20 drones more for the last 15 minutes and taken all these bases, there's no way that he would be in a supply deficit, because his ability to remax, his macro power would have just been enormous. But he didn't play that way. He kept trying to play this aggro turdy style. And if he loses this game, it will be entirely because of that reason. There's no doubt about it. So Snow now is starting to max out. Getting his macro engine flying because he's got this base established. Establishing this base. And forcing Zerg to engage in areas where he's got a decent amount of storms and protection. We have the Hive tech. Well, we have the Hive, but we don't have the tech, right? There's no defilers, anything like that. I'm not seeing him making lings either. He's just going Hydra Lurker, which I think Snow would happily play against with this composition that he's got. So just checking around where all the bases are. And now we see Snow moving out onto the map for the first time. Trying to come up this hill, which is not ideal. Always attacking onto the higher ground. You don't necessarily want to do that, but some good storms. And there's not actually much more behind here than this. Throws down once. A storm for a single Hydra. The blue is converging here, and he's baited out a fair number of storms. Another number of corpses there as well, though. And defending this position with some storms as well has turned out to be good. Supplies are about 30 different between the two. Bit of a split focus fight there. It was quite difficult to focus on that, but we did our best. There's still a lot of blue, eh? Like, no doubt about it. Storm, though, definitely proving the equalizer. Oh. So burrowing in here behind the mineral line. Does pull his drones, though, or his probes pretty quick smart. And actually fends that off without taking much damage at all there. That was really, really good. Bit of a surround here with his Hydras. But wow, the storms. Holy crap. Look at the corpses, man. Stormed beautifully into oblivion. And the somewhat one-dimensional style of this Zerg is not scaling well here. Snow actually getting some confidence to move out onto the map and start to challenge some bases. And some more storming corpses here. So he's holding onto that position pretty comfortably. Playing on two fronts without any problems at all. Some more really good storms. And suddenly, Snow starting to run away with it, guys. And it did not look like this was going to be the case for most of this game. This is an unreal illustration of composure. Determination to grind out an ugly win against a nasty player. And I must say, all the props. You know, he does the troll games, he does the fun games, he plays a lot of games where he absolutely smashes people. And sometimes when people play a sort of dirty style against him, he shows grit, he shows determination. And I must say, this was really, really awesome to see. Taking him on both fronts here. Moving up to challenge a base of the Zerg for the very first time in this entire match. Has to pull the drones. Doing a bit of a drill here. Actually pretty well done. Another really good storm. Storms the drone line as well. 75 supply left. This is a formality to say the least. And after this, guys, this Zerg left the game after GGing and then deleted his account. So you tell me why. Anyway, guys, thanks so much for watching. That was surreal. Lost his main, was stuck camping on 2 split halves of the map, managed to expand and grind out a win. Very admirable from Snow. I hope you enjoyed this game. It's a bit of a longer one. They're sometimes a bit hit and miss, but if you did enjoy it, please do hit a like. I'd love to hear from you what you thought of this game. And until next time, you take it easy. I will see you soon.